I've been reading only for the past 2.5 years. I can already see the benefits of reading, a significant improvement in how I read, and I can see why every teacher you ever had, including your parents, suggested that you should definitely read, even if you do it for the wrong reasons. Hi, welcome back. My name is Jorge, and today we're going to be talking about the importance of reading and why you need a Kindle. First, let's talk about the most obvious benefits of reading. It improves your memory, it gives you knowledge, it expands your vocabulary, and reduces stress. These are all self-explanatory reasons. If you don't see a benefit of any of that, then maybe keep watching, maybe I can change your mind. But if you do see a value in those benefits, then you recognize that reading is important. And you should probably start soon if you haven't done it already. But maybe you don't know how, or maybe you don't feel motivated to read. So, there's dozens and even hundreds of articles online on how to approach reading. Some say you have to be motivated to start, and that's how you get the ball rolling. Some others say that you get motivated by doing. There's a difference in reading because you were told to do so, or you force yourself to do it, and reading because you're actually genuinely interested in a subject, something that you really like music, or filmmaking, or photography. I suggest before you start the whole process of reading, you take a minute to really figure out which one are you and which approach works best for you, really. I learned by bypassing motivation. I was never really interested in reading when I was in school. I never did really well in school as well. My grades were not the best. I attended film school, and that's when I started to really change my mind about reading, mostly because I wanted to. I wanted to know more about filmmaking. I wanted to read the scripts. I wanted to know more about these things and do breakdowns. So a lot of reading was involved. I truly immersed myself in it, reading the scripts and then watching the movie right after so I can do breakdowns of characters, of dialogues, of locations, of props and objects, and even jumping into my first real book, 1984 by George Orwell. Back then, science fiction was one of my favorite genres, and it is to this date as well. So one of my writing mentors suggested I read this book, and I was completely shocked and completely taken by this and completely immersed into actual reading. Turns out I really surprised myself as well. I thought reading was not for me. Turns out I was looking at it from the wrong lens. Another suggestion I see online often is that you start with the classics. Classics really means complicated books. Consider this. You don't like reading. Never really done it before. You have concentration issues or attention deficits, and you're gonna force yourself to sit down and read Shakespeare. Really? Do not wait to feel like you want to read, and don't start with complicated reads either. Start small, start simple, start with things that you like, and you can go from there. The traditional way to read and get a book was to buy it, a physical copy, read it from top to bottom, and when you're done, shelve it. If you're a university student, then you can get access to the library and you can get free rentals. If you're not a student, you can register at a public library, and that's what I did for about 5 years maybe, living in Vancouver, going to the Vancouver Public Library. Really nice selection of books and access to pretty much most of the things that you want to read. It's a great resource, but it's not as convenient as you may think. For one, you have to actually go there and pick it up and drop it off. Two, you have a limit of days you can get a book, and you have to book it in advance and things like that, so keep that in mind. And now, digital with audiobooks and Kindles or e-readers. You can pretty much get it anywhere and make it as flexible as you want. Not everybody has access to the same resources, and not everybody enjoys the same ways of learning. So this is where you can sort of mix and match and see which one works best for you. If you just want to have your physical copy and you want to carry it with you, or if you just want to listen to it in an audio file, an audiobook while you're running in the gym, but you have the option, you have the freedom, you have the flexibility to do that now. And after you try enough of these sort of different alternatives, you'll find what's your favorite, and you'll find that your favorite normally reduces the friction to do the actual activity, in this case, read. It wasn't until I moved abroad to Japan that I realized that I needed to reduce the friction. First of all, you don't want to carry books with you, physical copies, Even if they do feel better and I like the smell of books, you don't want to carry them. And even if you do go to a bookstore and you want to still buy the physical copy, there's no guarantee you can find an English version of the book. Reading from a tablet or a computer does not feel great. I don't like it at all. Even the iPad Pro, which I mentioned in a previous video that is a great tool for traveling people and creators on the go, if I have to choose for reading only between an iPad and a Kindle or a book, I will choose the Kindle or a book. Because of that and the limitations of traveling abroad, I went ahead and picked up a Kindle Paperwhite. Not the regular Kindle, that one looks awful, the resolution is really low and it feels like somebody blowing sand into your eyes every time you try to read, but the Kindle Paperwhite. This is a Kindle Paperwhite. A Kindle is an e-reader made by Amazon. It's very small, very light, very portable, and it holds hundreds and even thousands of books. If you have an Amazon membership, then you can get discounts and you can use it in conjunction with audiobooks as well, which is really great. And to my surprise, it feels exactly like reading a book. I don't like digital computers and digital screens for reading. The e-ink display feels really natural, really sharp. It does have a backlit display, but you can dim it down and it looks almost similar to a page of a book as well. 300 ppi sharp display, like I mentioned, built-in backlight, and even has a dark mode for when you're in bed and hoping you don't drop it, although you've done that before, admit it. I definitely maybe have done it as well. Overall, in my opinion, this is the best tool for reading, and I'm glad I can fit all of these books inside the Paperwhite. But this is a tool, and a tool is useless if you don't have the intention to use it, the intention to read, or if you don't feel like developing your reading habits. So buying a Kindle is not gonna make you magically read every single book out there. I like to mix and match between audiobooks and using the Kindle. So if I'm in bed, or if I am on a couch, or if I'm on a flight or a train, I like using the Kindle. Makes it really simple and easy to read. If I'm doing something else like running, going out for a walk, gym, cleaning out around the house, I like to use an audiobook as well. I do believe books can feel different depending if it is an audiobook or the digital file or even the paperback version. For example, I tried to read Sapiens on a paperback and I just couldn't get through it. After I bought the Kindle, I tried to read it on the Kindle as well, and I just couldn't get through it, really. I gave it one last go when I was in Shinjuku exploring and taking photos, listening to it as an audiobook form, and guess what? I could not get through it. Some books you just find extremely boring and there's nothing you can do to get through that book. Doesn't matter in what form you read it or listen to it. Keep that in mind too. It is okay to skip pages and chapters and even books. In this case, I decided moving on to another book and learning and enjoying another book is a lot better than having that one book sitting on your nightstand for 3-4 months because you cannot get through it. Is a Kindle perfect? No. Is it gonna solve all your problems? No. Is it gonna make you love every single book you put it in? No. But it reduces the friction, makes it a lot easier to travel with, a lot smaller and lighter. And if you're a person like me that enjoys traveling and doing street photography and being as minimal as you can with your equipment, then this is actually one of the best things I've ever bought. And I do enjoy actual paperbacks. I like the feeling of paper. I like the smell of a book a lot better than having a Kindle. But if I'm gonna do this again, go to another country or return to Japan or keep traveling and working as a photographer, I wanna be as light as possible, I wanna be as minimal as possible so that Kindle is actually the best choice for me. Hopefully by now you get a good sense of what the channel is all about, creativity and productivity, putting these things together to grow together as filmmaker, photographers, musicians, etc. Please like, share, and subscribe. Definitely helps a lot. There's a lot more content coming, a lot more ideas I wanna explore together, so stay tuned. Thank you very much for watching and for your time, and have a great day.